What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. We got chapter 1090 to break down and talk about today, and we got some crazy information. We got the next island. That's right, the next island, and my God, is it crazy. So let's go ahead and break this down. All right, so we got the cover art right here. I love these special requests that Oda always does because it's always something really dope, bringing back an old time character, doing something pretty random, and these cover arts actually count as canon. So whatever they're doing is actually technically happening at some point in the storyline. So we got here Captain Curl just chilling with a bunch of black cats. So pretty simple, but let's get to the next page. All right, so we remember how the last chapter ended with the phone call and the Gorsei and the Admiral being very shocked by who was on the phone, and it was none other than our boy Monkey D. Luffy. So we got Luffy doing Luffy things, saying, "Hello, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I'm the man who's gonna be king of the pirates." And then you got everyone in the background saying, "What are you doing? What do you like? Why are you saying this out loud?" Especially to them. So you got Luffy also saying, "Yo, we're in an alliance with Dr. Vegapunk right now. If you really care about York's safety, then you're gonna get rid of all those ships around the shore." And then York is just in the background crying like a little biatch. But let's keep going. Man, just look at all the ships though. They're getting ready for a big war. The preparations are starting for sure. So look at Kizaru just all shocked and stuff. And then you got some Navy guys just being like, man, are these guys as evil as all the rumors say? Obviously not, but it's all about perspective. Flamingo said it best. It really is just perspective. I can't remember the full quote, so don't hate me for forgetting that. But Flamingo said it best at that one point during Marineford. And then you got Big News Morgan still with Vivi and King Wapol shocked that they're hearing Luffy on the comms right now. And we got over here, go up. We got Luffy talking directly to them. Like you gotta keep in mind how crazy this is. There isn't a pirate alive. I think there was only one other pirate at one point in time that talked to the Gorsei directly, and it might have been Goldie Roger. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Gold Roger that talked to them one time directly. So Luffy speaking to them is a very significant thing for the whole story because nobody else alive has done that, especially a pirate. Are you kidding me? So they're straight up saying, "You're Straw Hat Luffy, correct? Who is with you and who's alive?" And you got Luffy, man. Like, come on. He's about to give him the full details: who's alive, who's injured, who's there. You got everyone in the background pissed. Don't say anything. And then it was Nico Robin who happened to go over the comms, and they heard that. And you have one of the elders saying, "Is that voice Nico Robin?" And then we got here, somebody hangs up the phone. I'm very curious to know who hung up the phone. That's the kind of thing that when it gets animated, they'll show that part. The manga, you can only do so much in terms of showing off a full scene. So Nico Robin's pissed, saying talking with them will only give them information and they must not easily learn about us. So, and then Luffy being Luffy, as dumb per usual, saying, but that will make them withdraw their fleet, right? And then Usopp's just like hell, that's gonna happen. So don't underestimate the Marines. Very factual statement. And as it hung up, boom, Saturn saying we gotta protect these three kings, the physical safety of York, Punk Records, which constitutes Vegapunk's brain, and finally the power plant needed to produce the Mother Flame. That's still a big thing. Don't forget about the Mother Flame because that's going to be important going forward for the rest of the story of One Piece. So everything else can be lost except for those three. So obviously, I feel like it's really not going to end up with all three of those things being okay. It almost never works out for the Marines. They always fail some miserable way. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this arc pans out. So we got another Marine here talking to Saturn saying, but sir, Rob Lucci and his squad are still there alongside with other Cypher Pole agents. I'm just considering the worst possible scenario. It's important that we prioritize the most important factors to us, which is pretty reasonable, I can't lie. And then this Navy guy, it could be a Vice Admiral, I can't actually tell, but it could be a Vice Admiral saying, I understand. And we got Saturn being an absolute jackass. Humans are no different from insects. Even if their numbers reduce, they will just multiply again, which is a crazy statement to make. That just shows how evil the Gorsei really are. And I'm sure they're a lot more evil than we know at this point in time. So we got York still screaming, like, come on, like, shut up already. You heard all that, right? I made a deal with the 5 elders. If you hurt me in any way, they will eradicate this island from existence, just like they did to Arha. So That's a crazy thing to say, especially in front of Nico Robin. Like, come on, you can't say that. You can't say that. And then of course, Nami gets pissed and just smacks her up with the pole. And I think, is that Zeus up there? I could be wrong, or that's just some random bubble. I don't know. Regardless, smacked up. And then Nico Robin says, "Hey, calm down. She's unarmed." Like, Nico Robin wasn't too pressed about it. It's just York being, doing York things. And then Chopper, "Are your wounds feeling better now, Robin?" Man, I love Chopper, man. Chopper's the GOAT. He's just there to take care of everyone, make sure everyone's doing good. And then we got this is a whole panel of the whole crew, right? Yeah, pretty much everyone over here. You got Luffy eating, munching down with Jewelry Bonnie right there. Brooke, I'm not gonna lie, Brooke's outfit looks mad funny. I can't wait to see that animated. Just look at his head, just a big glass dome. So everyone's just chopping it up, talking, breaking things down. And then down here, the last one. For the state of Vegapunk's satellites, 4 are heavily injured, 2 are dead. As for the Straw Hat crew. And then you got, what's his name? Kaku? Kaku, was that his name? Yeah, Kaku notices Rob Lucci just talking to himself. So I'm very curious to know what he was thinking of in this situation. He can't do anything. Essentially, they're helpless, which is insane to even think about because this is still Rob Lucci. Like, he's really powerful still. So he knows he can't do anything. He's held back. So he's just going through it right now mentally. And that's what we're trying to see. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I took a pretty large break in between of recording this video to eat some dinner, so I'm not gonna lie. But I'm back though. We're back at it. So with this page though, we got Usopp going on talking about, hey, to everyone down below, is everything all right over there? And this is in the laboratory underground basement, and all the other Cypherpole units that have been stuck there for so long are saved. Now, after all this time, they finally have good access to food, to water, to what looks like beer or alcohol, whatever they got going on over there. They're lit, but they seem to be pretty torn between being appreciative of them and still hating them, being cautious a little bit. I don't blame them. After hearing so many bad rumors about the Straw Hat crew, I'd be a little bit antsy too. And now the Seraphim are all locked up. Conveniently enough, thanks to Hancock, I can't zoom out. Why is it? Oh, there we go. So we got Hancock right here saying, "You don't have to worry about us since we didn't receive any orders to eliminate you. You're of no concern to us," which is a good thing. They're not gonna attempt to break out. Look at Jinbei though. Jinbei he just looks like that teenage boy. He doesn't want to be there. That kind of thing. So Jinbei looks bad funny right there. Mihawk saying, "How dare they lock us in there?" That is some Mihawk terms. I'll give him that. And then Kuma's chilling, vibing in there. And then, yeah, they're all locked up for now. All right, so now we got all those other guys from the Cypherpole units. They're pretty relieved that they don't have to worry about, getting packed up right there by all of them, because they definitely would get all packed up. And then we got Frankie being grateful to the Seraphim version of Boa Hancock, saying, "We're just grateful for you." And then we got Frankie also saying, "Thank you for doing the petrification on us." And then Vegapunk says, "That's strange. I don't remember programming her to act like that." And what he's talking about is pretty funny because she fell for Luffy again, pretty much, literally again. So like, this is not surprising, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just really funny that Oda decided to make her fall in love with Luffy. So I kind of hope that eventually at one point in time, this Seraphim Boa Hancock meets the real Boa Hancock. That fight, oh my, they're gonna be beefing for a long time. So they're just gonna be fighting over Luffy, scrambling over Luffy, and you got Jinbei laughing his ass off. I'd be laughing too in person. Oh, like, this is just so funny and so comedic. When that gets animated, oh my god, it's gonna be a really funny moment. And of course, Luffy thanking Hancock again, and look at her, literally look at her. She's just blushing. It's too funny. Like, it's too spot on to the real boy Hancock. So that just goes to show Vegapunk's work on these Seraphim and how accurate that he got to making them not a 1-for-1, but pretty damn close to a 1-for-1 clone of these characters. And then of course she said, "Did you just say that you love me?" Literally spot on something Boa Hancock would said. So that's really funny. And so we got Vegapunk talking to Stella saying, "Although the comm system is working again, I still can't open the front dome." And then he says, "We can't escape here if we can't disable the barrier." And then look at Stella. "It's useless. I locked everything with a password. And here's another bad news for you. I didn't share that info with your brains, and I don't plan on telling it to you either." So typical villain stupidity stuff. So, and then is that Lilith saying, "You're starting to get on my nerves." And then Stella responds, "That password in the world government are the two armors protecting me." And then she's just talking to the Rouse saying, "Oh, I'm starting to get hungry." And so here we go. "We're surrounded from every side, Stella. The fleet comprises of 100 ships and nearly 30,000 Marines on board." And just look at Sanji. Like this is typical Sanji simping over a fine female. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't blame him, but you know. And so we got Vegapunk saying, "You said your name was Nami. You're the navigator of the crew, correct?" So I think it's kind of cool that Vegapunk and Nami are interacting. Definitely something I didn't expect. I knew they'd be in the same scenes, but to see them even just interact for this small period of time, it's pretty dope to see. Okay, so I want to show this very carefully because this is a really really big deal. So if you thought Wano was crazy, you think Egghead is crazy so far. Let's read this. "The log pose is not pointing to a new destination yet, but I think we can still follow the other directions it recorded in Wano. One of them is pointing northeast from here." And then Vegapunk says, "Ah, yes, that's where Elbath is." Like, are you kidding me? And then just look at Usopp and Luffy. They're hype. I mean, that is such a crazy thing to just drop in this chapter. The next island is Elbath? What? Like, that's so mind blowing after all this time. I think it was Little Garden when they first got to the Grand Line really early on in the show, where the whole tease, the build up for Elbath, and you get to Whole Cake Island, and then the whole connection between Big Mom and Elbath. Like, so many things have been building up since the beginning. Now we're actually about to get to that island, so it's gonna be pretty cool to see how that goes. And we got here. Oh man, just look at Luffy and Usopp again. They're so hyped. I think I'm gonna find a clip. I think when they were in Little Garden, they were hyped doing the same exact dance. So if I can find that, I'm gonna add it in this video. So, and then look at Rob Lucci giving the mean mug. Yeah, that man's going through it right now mentally. So, and then Vegapunk says, "Luckily for us, your ship is ready on the lava phase stratum, but since the island is surrounded completely by marine blockade, it is impossible to escape from the coast." And then we got here a directional guide showing where they are on the island and the exact direction they need to go. So we have to go northeast to the other side of the island. Fortunately, the Vega Force 01 is already stationed near the ship, which is very convenient. So this page is pretty damn fire, considering Frankie is my favorite Straw Hat. Let's check this out. So Vegapunk says, "I hope it will carry us all through the marine blockade, but it can only fly within the airfield of Egghead. It will fall down as soon as it leaves the airfield range of the island." And then Frankie responds, "No problem at all. The Sunny can take over just before it completely leaves the airfield range. No one would be able to chase us after we fly 1 kilometer away." And then Vegapunk is impressed. He's hyped, saying, "My word, that ship can fly a straight full kilometer? Very well. Let's go with that plan." And then Frankie responds, "It's powered by cola?" And Vegapunk says, "What? Cola?" So I really think that's a really great interaction. I really want to see this animated already. I know it's going to be really fire. It's just, man, Frankie's hard work is paying off. For Vegapunk to be impressed, man, that's a pretty big feat. So we got her saying, "That's a very well thought out plan, but we need to disable the Frontier Dome first before we can escape." And then Stella, come on, I cannot stand this person. "You'll never get the password from me." And then Vegapunk says, "In that case, we'll just have to get it back. Do not underestimate the great Vegapunk." And that's factual. If Stella thinks she's gonna outwork Vegapunk, it ain't gonna happen. Like, Vegapunk literally made all of them, literally all of them. So his determination is strong, and we see that full picture right here. Now the escape plan begins. So we got Vegapunk saying, "Lilith, I leave the command of Vega Force 01 to you." Now we got, "Let's leave the ship to the other side of the lava phase. We need to hurry. The barrier might open any time now." You're right. Through disabling it, it will allow us to escape, but that will mean we will be vulnerable to enemy fire. Exactly. And then Lilith saying, "To tell you the truth, I've never left this island before." Frankie saying, "Hey, we're not going for a picnic, you know? Luffy saying, I definitely miss the food here. Once again, Luffy never changes. No matter how serious the situation is, Luffy stays the same. Luffy's a real OG. So, and then Jewelry Bonnie saying, same here. We won't get to eat any more of it tomorrow, so let's bring some more pizzas. We have cheese on the ship, so don't worry, Sanji can make some for us. And Julia Bonnie responds with, I see. What a great man. Skilled at cooking, at the same time, strong in battle. So, her being impressed with Sanji, that's kind of a cool thing to see. So, I don't know if that's any kind of hints at some form of relationship between the two. I highly doubt it. One Piece isn't the type of thing to be focused on relationships, so I doubt it. But it's an interesting comment nonetheless. Luffy says, "Hey, why did you get in such a good mood all of a sudden? So weird." And then I believe this is Frankie saying it. I'll admit. Oh no. This is Julie Bonnie. I'll admit, I feel better now that I gave up on killing Vegapunk. Luffy responds, good. We won't be annoyed by your crying anymore like last night. She responds, I wasn't crying. The war preparations are underway. Rob Lucci has made contact. We know what's happening inside. Relay this information to everyone at once. So maybe during that one page that Rob Lucci was talking to himself, maybe he was talking to them. Maybe he really wasn't just losing his mind. He was talking to them, giving them information that they really and desperately needed. And then we got Saturn saying, you heard that? And then Kizaru comes up saying, Straw Hat was talking arrogantly to deceive us in believing that he has control over the whole situation. But it doesn't change the fact that they're still cornered like rats. Saturn responds, the Frontier Dome is a defense system that utilizes lasers, am I right? Can't you go through it since you're a light human? Kizaru responds, that might be possible, but the one Vegapunk stationed to guard the dome is a friend of mine. So he might be conflicted considering the person that he might has to go against. But Saturn brings up a good point that Kizaru essentially could just enter the dome at any point he wants because he is a literal light person. So back at it with Saturn saying, well, you just need to ignore him. Kizaru responds with his own morals saying, I can't ignore a man who's determined to fight for his duty. Doing that will go against my ideals. As much of a bad person he is, that's pretty respectable. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he could just be a dickhead and just go straight for him and cause even more issues, but he needs to get that fight done and out of the way first. Saturn goes on saying, furthermore, if we start our assault now, Sentomaru will surely order the Mecha Sea Beast weapons and the 50 pacifistas under his command to sink our fleet. Kizaru responds that casualties would be enormous, which is pretty damn correct. That's a lot of firepower. Saturn responds, the situation is getting more and more complicated. What about the power plant? Do we know its location? Kizaru responds, Rob Lucci is quite the shrewd and cunning fellow. He already sent all the info that we needed. So that just confirms that he was talking to them during that point that he was talking to himself. Now, the real beginning of the war is imminent. We're getting as close as we've ever been to the war starting, with everyone getting to their battle stations. Everyone's getting decked out, ready to go. You see the vice admirals essentially saying what their goal is for this part of the war, saying we need to free all CP0 agents from those pirates. And then they need to aim for the Mecha Sea Beast weapons, and they're all locked in, ready to go. And then we see here they finally get back to the Thousand Sunny, and Luffy, still being Luffy, he's having mad fun. And he says right here, I love the Sky Island grounds. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to put in this page. Just him having fun, no matter what's going on. Luffy's gonna be Luffy. Oh, this is where it gets a little bit juicy. Kizaru is the first one in all of this to make an actual first move. He uses his light power for a long range attack. We see here the Sea Beast, all their ships ready. Kizaru is right here. If you're able to see my mouse, he's right here getting ready to shoot an attack. Boom, it goes off. It's going all throughout the island right here. And then boom, Sentomaru is getting ready. The pacifistas are ready on deck. The Sea Beast are ready on deck. It's about to go down. Now we got the battle right underway with Kizaru saying, prepare yourself, Sentomaru. He responds, my defense is the toughest in the world. So next chapter, it's going to be real interesting to see if Sentomaru was really able to hold back that attack. Honestly, I highly doubt it. I mean, Kizaru is no joke. He is a really strong threat level. And in the final two panels we got here, what's that? There's light coming from below. Hey, someone very strong is coming. Now, I've seen a lot of people online saying, oh, Luffy's scared of Kizaru. Luffy's scared of him. No, not even close. Luffy himself is packing up every single admiral right now. That's my honest thought. Luffy, especially with Gear 5, he's beating all three admirals. He realizes Kizaru is still no joke. Honestly, I think Kizaru is beating large majority of the crew right now. So Luffy isn't concerned for himself. He's more concerned for the well-being of the rest of his crew. All right, guys, that chapter was insane. Every chapter from this point on until the end of the Egghead Island arc is going to be jam-packed with action. I'm really hoping within the next 2 to 3 chapters that we get some more information on Garp and the status of him. I'm still very interested to know how that fight turned out. I still don't think he's gonna die. It wouldn't make sense to kill him off screen the way it seems to be going right now, but it'll be interesting nonetheless. So we'll see how next chapter goes. If you like this breakdown and you like this video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment if you so wish, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.